Paranormal poltergeists prolong their paltry pursuit this week on the Hapless Heroes.
Hedrick, no!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and I am your host and DM as we continue this naval adventure. I have a wonderful cast of characters. You know them, you love them. We have Dave as Zero, Phelan's Avatar of War.
Good evening.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
I'm controlling a ship.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Everything is way too far away to stab right now.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Patience, little one. Your stabbings will soon be right in front of you.
Words. And John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
Do not fear, my mighty crew. Jarrell is here.
Yeah, and speaking of Jarrell being here and the stabbings are coming, you guys are embroiled. In... Damn it, John! You guys are embroiled in a intense naval battle with 3 ghost ships. One that has been almost completely decimated by, a stationary force cage that it just plowed right into. The other 2 are in hot pursuit directly behind you on either side. You guys are also sailing through this grayish-green fog.
Grayish-green fog?
And... are an unknown distance from the shore of Ardwall. Mm-hmm. And you don't know if any other ships lie within this ghastly, ghostly mist. We're going to dive back into initiative here. And we started back at the top. So like I said, the ghost ships had moved and are trying to catch up to you guys because, you had powered through between them to try to, beat their intercept course because they were, they had spent a little extra time firing upon you guys rather than, going full steam ahead. So you are, probably about 100 feet ahead of their position, but they are closing fast. So we're going to move to the Oberstar again because, like I said, the rest of the ships are just trying to catch up. So we had Boris, the top of initiative on this ship. Boris, you're, now the ships that are chasing you and are behind the ship.
Okay.
They are approaching along the port and starboard sides, right? They're not directly behind, but they are, they are working on catching up to you.
Now, Hedrick, you want more grenades, correct?
I mean, there is a near limitless supply right now.
Hedrick's right next to you, and he's currently wearing a bandolier of grenades.
Oh, you've got lots of grenades. All right. Boris kind of eyeballs. Okay, so do the ships look like they're going to catch up? They're moving
Yes.
much quicker than we are?
Yes.
In their ghastly manner. So Boris is going to kind of assess where they would be gangplanking over to us, I guess. I'm assuming they're somewhere on the side of the ship that would be
trying
the
to predict their
place
position.
they would put the gangplank, right? There's going to be a boarding spot on the ship or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's obvious areas on the deck where you would be able to lower one onto. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So She's gonna like try to like position herself so that she could sneak attack when they started boarding. So like she wants to be able to kind of like hide around from wherever like the gangplank would end up getting put down on the port side.
Okay. You could probably even get a little higher up, like, like as it kind of races up to where like the helm is, and you can like just jump down on top of them if you want.
Perfect. Yeah. So she positions herself somewhere basically where she's just like hidden and able to attack, but still like close enough that if anything's happening, she can quickly get like
preparing that action to sort of react to.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Preparing to be able to whack somebody.
That's fine with me.
Dagger in hand.
All right. 0.
Okay, so they are about to put gangplanks down, but have not done so yet.
No, they have to catch up to you first.
Okay. Then, if they have not quite yet caught up, I don't really want to go burning action surge or anything, but I think I'd like to take some special care to shoot the ones that are currently holding the gangplanks on the ship that is on our eeny, meeny, miny starboard side.
Okay.
So we'll take 3 shots.
Yeah, and that ship is, currently struggling to, maintain crew, right? The one on your port side has full crew.
Yeah.
The one on your starboard side is definitely lacking.
Yeah, and we're just going to pick on the weakened ship. Unless there's any major changes in armor class, we have a hit. We have 2 hits. We have 3 hits.
Oh, yeah, and you pick off 3 more of their crew.
Yep.
They're still above half, but not by much.
That's fine. And Zero is just going to kind of post up in more of a, on one knee position with Reason shouldered and just awaiting the passage of time to fire more rounds at the normal firing rate.
Sounds good. Hedrick.
He's going to look over to the captain and start a rhythm he has not done before. And he's going to make sure he's making contact with a lot of the crew as he's kind of like sauntering into a center direction. And he wants to inspire Captain Quinn, who he has grown accustomed to. And now finally is seeing him like in his element, in his rawest form, with an immense power at his
doing
fingertips.
work, yeah.
There is a tale of a seaward man who controls the waters with his hands. His crew will come up with the plan and he'll claim it as his own.
True.
Soon may a south wind come, so hide your wench's golden rum. If you hatch a scheme, then tell no one when the mighty south wind blows.
Fucking love it.
And he will continue this theme as he's motioning for like another grenade, and he's going to once again lob it up and bat one off, catapult, burning a 2nd level spell.
At which ship?
Continuing with the starboard ship, he sees the work that Zero's been doing, and he wants to stay close to his elements of inspiration. He sees how the crew works as one. And he says, all right, a little bit more batting practice.
All right, so you take aim at one of the one of the people on the ship.
Ooh, and how many
He's
seconds on
actually-
this grenade?
Yeah, I want to set this one to 10 seconds.
10 seconds it is.
We haven't done this yet. But he wants to aim into the ship, like into the deck, I guess, like on top, into a corner someplace where it rolls into some either chamber. Is there like a room up on the deck level?
I mean, yeah, you might be able to try to like sneak it into like a hole on the top of the deck or something. There's a hole there where the previous grenade was. Or had exploded.
Okay, I'll go for that. And so basically, if I'm not aiming at a creature, there's no dexterity save required.
I'm not going to make a dexterity save for the ship. It's a pretty... But you know what? I will say that make me a roll to see if you... Just make me a d20 roll. I want to kind of see maybe if you're able to finesse it actually into that hole. It's going to hit the ship regardless, but...
It's a straight roll.
Yeah.
9.
Alright, you try to get it inside, but, you know, it kind of bounces off the top a little bit. I mean, as much as a 10-pound grenade can bounce. It kind of just sticks into the hull itself on the top,
Okay.
near one of the sails.
I need to roll 4d8. 15.
You deal 15 damage to the sail. And then...
10 seconds. So maybe I find out next round.
Yeah, you see it, like, blinking.
Okay. Okay. And he'll say, Boris, it seems to be working.
Boris is. Well, I guess they can't really hear me, so Boris giggles kind of maniacally, just like, drums her fingers together like a cartoon supervillain.
Very much taking it in. The fact that like Jarrell has taken this healer role, he's been taking care of all of our wounded crew and getting our numbers back up. Quinn firing his short bow, Zero blasting away with reason. Hedrick is like cape unfurled in the wind, ready to face this.
Beautiful. All right, Quinn and the ship. What are you guys doing?
Yep. So I'm gonna kind of follow Hedrick's lead. I'm gonna give Zero some inspiration, albeit weaker than Hedrick's, but inspiration nonetheless. And I just shouted him, Zero, you might fail, die even, but don't let this be boring.
Wow.
All right. So what kind of inspiration is that?
D8.
That is a
Bardic
D8.
inspiration.
Okay, good. Let me dig a D8 out. Just have it out on the table.
And then with the ship, that acts as my action. Oh no, that's a bonus action, isn't it? So my
Yeah, it
actual
is.
action is to shoot my short bow again.
Try to take out one more.
Listen, it worked the first time. Let's see what happens. 12 plus 6 is an 18.
Yep.
Cool.
You pick off one more crew. They are still above half.
Sweet. Didn't even need bardic inspiration. Went for it. And then the ship. And I might have lost track of where we are. So we've got one port side that's like.
They're both behind port, one star.
Oh right.
They're trying to move to come up alongside you.
So they're all behind us.
Yes.
All three. Okay. So we
Yeah.
can't
The third
shoot
one
at
is
them.
the third one is a considerable distance behind. No, not unless you rotate the ship.
Sure. So if I rotate, let's
You
say
probably have to
starboard,
move. Yep.
right, and then move forward, that's 2 actions, but that gets us angled enough to shoot.
Yeah, that would potentially put you in a dangerous position to be rammed. But
Also fair.
yes, you could do that.
Is the closest ship the most damaged? No, it's the farthest ship that's the most damaged.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's the
But
slowest.
the one on the starboard side is missing a considerable number of its crew and has taken some hull damage and potentially will be taking some more shortly.
So yeah, let's go for it. We're gonna shoot at it.
All right, so you're gonna move. You're essentially moving up and then shifting starboard.
Yep.
To point the cannons at it.
Yep,
Okay.
correct.
So that's. Yeah,
Can
so
I
you went-
use bardic inspiration during this? No, right?
You're
you
rolling
kind
for
of
the ship.
But
Yeah, you're
so
rolling
the
for
ship doesn't have inspiration. Okay,
It's you personally,
sure, fair enough.
because you're not
Now,
lighting
can
every single
I
cannon and
give
firing
bardic
it.
inspiration to the ship?
You can give bardic inspiration to the crew, I suppose.
right?
But you
Okay,
already
on my
gave it
next
to
turn,
0.
we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So my lucky feat, I can re-roll any roll, right?
That
For
you
you.
make
Because it's
personally.
the feat.
The ship is
Oh,
rolling
but this
right
isn't
now.
the ship, right? You've already did this. Right. Okay. So it's a 10.
Yeah, 10 does not hit. Again, the maneuver was probably just a little too difficult, and they couldn't get the shot off properly. This happens a lot.
I'm expecting a lot of this crew, and I feel like I just need to like pull back a little bit. We'll see what happens on the next turn.
All right. Well, the next turn is Jarrell's.
So Jarrell would be at least smart enough to assume that throwing these 10-pound grenades into the ocean would probably just sink them. The only reason the one stayed afloat was because they put it in a barrel, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then Jarrell will heal the last crew member.
You're gonna revive that one too. God damn. He's revived the entire fucking crew of this ship.
It's a very Jarrell.
Yay!
And he is literally crushed like thousands and thousands of gold worth of diamonds to do so.
$900 gold worth of diamonds. That's not, to save 3 men. How much is the value of 3 men, friend?
Apparently 900 gold. Yeah.
Well, it's the value of your reputation. Certainly, the captain can relate to that. No man left behind.
If nothing
I
else,
will say-
set the market here.
I will say that this action has given the ship inspiration.
Cool.
As they are
Cool.
back to full crew.
I can't
And
heal
our-
anyone else. Just want
and our-
to. I'm not
and
telling
our-
the crew that.
yeah.
But that's the end of my ability to do that.
And they are feeling very jazzed about it. That also means that if one of you were to die, you're shit out of luck.
Well, I still have. I have one spell that I can prevent some of that with, if it were to be the case.
Just saying.
I have it.
So, we're gonna. Is that all, Jarrell?
Yeah, that's all Jarrell can do.
All right, that's significant. All right, so these undead ships now, these ghost ships, are going to, the one that was on your port side had to now correct its course once again and is not really in a position or path to intercept properly. However, the one that is severely damaged is now going to attempt to ram your ship. This is the same one that has the grenade embedded in it. And so you see it like now, because you guys are kind of now making a T, right? Because you turn to fire upon it. And it's going to use 2 of its movement and then its last action to ram you with its like flaming skull front. Your hull takes 37 fire damage as the starboard side is rocked by impact. And now you can see that all of the remaining undead crew are now running towards the front of the ship to try to hop off of it and onto yours. Before they do that, you hear a very loud, almost like a ding, and the grenade explodes. You see that initial concussive blast from your 5-second option. You said that concussive blast of force, right? But then that wave of force sucks back inwards, and then out pops 6 different smaller grenades. And those explode. Phil, roll me 8d6.
I have to get a couple more, and all I have are these big metal ones. Okay.
And then whatever you roll there, please add 20 to that.
Oh. Oh my. Okay. 29.
And you added 20. to that?
Oh, no. 49 total.
I was
Great.
gonna say 88 to only get 9.
No, I had 3 5s and a 6
Nice.
rolled on there. And then 4, 1, 1, 2.
Yeah. So yeah, you see just untold damage, just wreak havoc across the top of the ship. A whole bunch of skeletons die, and you can actually see now that the entire center of the ship just goes concave. And it now pitches up, so you can see that a few whatever undead crew were at the front of this ship are running up the front of it as it's now tipping up like the fucking Titanic as it's taking on water, and they're all hopping off to try to get onto your ship, but only about 10 make it. The rest fall into the water. But now there are 10 undead. There appears to be 8 skeletons and 2 wraiths aboard your ship. And the crew begins to immediately engage. Boris, you had an action prepared for this.
Yes.
You were on the port side, I believe, right?
I am on the port side, yep.
So you're looking across the ship at the, where the other one had rammed into it and is now sinking, and a bunch had jumped off there, off the front of it to get onto the ship.
And are now on our ship.
They are now on the ship, yes, and engaged with the crew.
How far away from me would they be if they're all the way across the ship then?
Well within range of you throwing your dagger.
Excellent. I throw my... yeah. I stay in my hiding spot, right? Because that gives me advantage. And throw my dagger.
Are you throwing it at a skeleton or at one of the larger wraiths?
At the biggest looking thing out of the entire group. Whatever the absolute scariest, tankiest looking one is.
Those would be the 2 wraiths.
Does one of them look tankier than the other one, or less like it was hit with grenade?
They look about the same.
Cool, so I just pick one. And, threw my dagger at it. Without coming out of hiding, I guess, if they're kind of distracted by being interacted with the crew, just kind of pop up enough to huck my dagger and pop back down.
Nice. All right.
And I guess I need to roll for that.
You sure do.
Cool. 29?
Yeah.
That was a nice roll.
You definitely hit that.
Beautiful. So, the sneak attack damage.
Screech is in pain.
$35 damage.
Holy shit, yeah. It takes 35 damage. Holy shit.
And I guess, do I need to do a stealth check or anything for remaining hidden through that process?
You can use your cunning action to hide.
I use my cunning action to re-hide.
Very nice. Okay. We're back to initiative order now. Because again, I'm actually going to say I'm going to resolve a little bit of the initial combat that happens on top of the ship here. Just by making a series of rolls. Man, these guys suck. Alright, your crew handily wins the fight. You lose 2 crew members, and they slay 5 skeletons. We are on to Boris.
Wait, again?
Yeah, you use your reaction for that attack.
Oh yeah, dope. Boris, once again, literally exact same thing. Once again, sticks her head up. You know what? Doesn't even stick her head up because she's just that fucking good, knowing exactly where that wreath is, just over the barrel or whatever she's hiding behind.
Sure.
And 26.
26 also definitely hits.
Okay. Ooh, that looks even better. Oh, it's not better. 34.
34 is still enough to kill it. And you see it just like as your dagger makes contact with it, right? It's like wispy, smoky, like, undead form just like shrieks out in pain and then just dissipates into the mists that you're sailing through. And your dagger reappears back in your hand.
Which is the only part that I actually see since I was not looking.
Mm-hmm. You heard it, though. You hurt it and you heard it. I realized I said that
There we go.
poorly.
It was
All right.
all-
Well done. We're going to now go to 0.
And you say there's one more wraith aboard the deck.
There sure is.
All right.
It,
Well,
it killed one of your crew.
yes, and it in turn was killed in one turn, which I see as a standing challenge. So we'll start with 3 attacks, and we are going to use Sharpshooter and take a -5 to hit for +10 in raw damage on it.
Sounds good.
So that just turns my modifier to a mere +8. Let's see, a 15 plus 8, that's 23. Yes.
Yes.
Right. 17, so that's a 25.
Yep.
And a nat 20.
Oh, yeah. Go for it. Let's
All
see it.
right, so let's see. 10 plus 10 plus 6 for the first. So that's 3. That's 19 for the first attack's damage.
Good.
15 plus 6. 21 for the second attack's damage.
Okay.
And let's see, where does our crit modifier apply in relationship to that sharpshooter damage? Or is it just a full D10 plus the rolled D10 plus the 10 for sharpshooter?
As we said, it was max damage. Hold on.
Yeah,
No.
but what is max damage? Is that just max die before
Well,
modifier?
seeing as how technically in the rules is written, a crit is just you roll your damage dice twice, right? And we're saying we're just taking max damage. Like any modifiers to that damage are added after that; they don't get doubled.
Okay, no, that would just be a single. Okay, so it would be the 10 plus 10, so that's 26 plus die, which is 9, so 35 for the final damage.
So that brings the grand total to 75 damage.
Yes.
You obliterate it.
Challenge accepted.
As these 3 bolts, fire out from reason. Each one, again, a flash of light with each impact. And then the wraith just fades away into the mist.
Okay, good. Now that we've more or less resolved, well, is there any threat remaining from that ship?
There's a few skeletons on board, but the crew seems to now be overwhelming them, and we'll probably finish them off by the time Quinn even has a chance to give them orders.
Excellent. It's time to start preparing the defense for the ship coming up from port side.
All right. Hedrick.
Quinn did not use his inspiration, did he?
He did not.
Okay. Just to make sure, I know you can't stack inspiration, but that is Hedrick's favorite way of using his bonus action.
As a bard is wont to do, yeah.
Yeah. So I think he will continue to inspire on this time. Jarrell, do you have inspiration
Yes.
still?
Yeah.
We
Raise
just
your
leave it
hand
there?
if you don't have inspiration.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Boris. Okay. All right. Certainly, he's really enthusiastic at how Boris performs. Certainly, combat is not unfamiliar to her, and she's proficiently executing from these hidden positions. So, I'm trying to think of a clever way. I didn't pre-write anything. But needless to say, he's just going to say, "All right, Boris, this one's for you." And he's going to go over to port side, and he will catapult another grenade, this time set for 10 seconds, because that cluster bomb had a tremendous scattering effect. And if nothing else, if he lands it on the deck, he'll be happy. How far away is the port side ship?
It's about 60 feet behind you.
Okay, so I still
Actually, no, it's more than that. It's actually about 100 feet behind you. Because it's trying to catch up from that maneuver, so it actually lost some of that gain it had on you guys because of Quinn turning away from it.
It makes sense. Hedrick will tune his amplifier just a click, so he's not going to 11 with this one. He's not going to double the distance, but he's going to give it just a little bit extra to clear that 90 feet and
Sure.
get onto the deck. So another amplifier charge, another inspiration charge to Boris. So this one's for you, Boris. And you hear a loud crack of a sound, even though the loot doesn't necessarily touch it. It just looks like he pushes it out, and it goes flying onto that ship.
Sounds good. And yeah, this roll me a d20 again, just for gigs.
13.
13. All right. This one, embeds itself dead center into the ship.
Into the ship, not on the deck.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like on the deck, but into it is in it sticks itself right there.
Cool. All right. I'll roll the 48. Ooh, yeah. Well, 18.
Yeah, 18 damage to the hull.
Can I see anything else out in the fog?
Not at this.
In my movement.
I mean,
my
just
vision
just
is limited to 100 feet or so, or.
I mean, maybe it's barely that, right? You can see the ships because they're glowing, right? And there's kind of a faint glow that permeates the mist, right? That makes it more than just gray, but has that greenish hue to it. So it's like
Greenish hue.
God damn it. I don't get it. I just. Anyways, but yeah, it's hard to see really too much further. So you don't really know what lies ahead of you right now in the direction you're sailing.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually you even hear a shout from the helmsman that his compass is going crazy. He actually has no idea what heading the ship is pointed at now.
And we don't notice any other glowing things around us.
No other large glowing things, just the general glow that permeates this mist.
Roger.
Okay, Quinn.
All the baddies on our ship are dealt with, correct?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that they're dealt with, and that's what your crew has kind of worked on here.
Sure. All right. So I do the pew, my random shot off toward the closest ship. Okay. So it's an at one, but I'm gonna use my lucky feat this time because inspiration's not gonna be here, Hedrick.
That's a U roll right there. So go right ahead.
So then, okay. So because I'm using a lucky roll and I was at disadvantage originally, do I re-roll at disadvantage again, or do I roll a third die?
It just says you can re-roll any die. So you can re-roll that one and then just take the lower, just keep your original other one, right? And then take the lower of those two.
Okay.
Oh yeah, reroll
guess.
the worst of those two rolls. Yeah.
Okay. So
And
that,
then,
that makes
pick
sense,
the worst,
right?
But still pick the worst.
So that was still, I think, a smart move. So because it wasn't a nat one. And then I get, what am I doing? Oh, +6, right? So I'm going to.
You're also bardically inspired.
I know. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to use it because it's a D10, and I feel like if I fail, I failed because I matched it. So I'm just gonna go with it. So it's a 17.
Yeah, it's enough to hit one of the things on board.
Cool. Okay. So great. Kill another thing.
Yeah, skeleton. Just
And
drops.
then I'm going to use my bonus action to give Bardic Inspiration to Hedrick, because he's the only one that doesn't have Bardic Inspiration right now. And this is what he says. Hedrick, you are a musician, but there is no sweeter music than the screams of our enemies. Now, go compose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're into that
Oh my god.
mental kind of stuff, I hear some people doing some interesting things. I'll take that advice. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Jarrell, or I'm sorry, the ship. Are you continuing to move? What are you
Oh.
trying to do? Because again, this now the other ship is now directly behind you.
Right.
And the other
so
one,
if I,
and the heavily damaged one at this point is losing ground.
sure. So it's so far behind.
Can you shoot it?
No, right?
You turned to be parallel to both of them, kind of. Like one's a little
Sure.
farther.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, you could probably fire the cannons at disadvantage here, and try to hit it. If you're trying
Because
to
we're
shoot
too far away?
the one that's far away, yeah.
Oh, I see. Wait, I'm confused.
What about
so
the one that's catching
near
up to us?
The one that's catching up
Yeah,
to you is
they're
directly
right
is like almost directly behind you. It's like you
Right.
guys are moving this way. It's kind of coming up like this.
Sure. And then the one that's farthest from us is shooting, it, so I'm able to shoot, but at disadvantage.
Right, and it will probably attempt to do the same to you.
I would just maneuver us again. But
Yeah, I'm thinking getting away from the closer ship is the smarter move. So yeah, we're gonna go. So if I use our 3 actions to just get as far from the closest ship as we can, we're still like so port side then, right? So still port side, we can still shoot at disadvantage on the next turn. Right, we're still angled toward that other ship.
Correct. You're angled
yes.
towards you're angled towards right, like currently angled towards the furthest ship, the heavily damaged one, the force cube, destroyed one. And the other one is trying to like catch up to you again and come alongside now on the short side.
Yeah, let's use our 3 actions at this point to get as far from the closest one as possible.
That sounds good. You guys, you like I said, you move at a good clip. As you move ahead in the mist, you can start to hear the sounds of cannon fire. You also hear the sounds of people screaming.
Not the music I wanted to hear.
Jarrell, what does your divine sense tell you?
Give me the range on that again if he's about to use it. Because
I
it's
mean-
now Jarrell's turn.
yeah, it's my turn now. I mean, I'm pretty sure what my divine sense is going to tell me. I don't even think I need to use divine sense to have just base intuition.
Tell me, Jarrell.
It's 60 feet.
60 feet, okay.
I don't think we can see anything within 60 feet, so Jarrell probably wouldn't necessarily use
This
it.
ship, just this ship.
I wouldn't think so.
Okay, so we're moving towards the sound of people screaming, probably, right? Because these zombies don't seem to, or undead don't seem to make a whole lot
Yeah,
of
it sounds like
people.
people screaming.
Okay. Jarrell is going to. I can't revive the 2 crew members. The other ship is too far away for me to do anything to it. I'm going to hold an action, an attack action. If anything, like if we were to get into range of something before my next turn.
Okay, sounds good. So the ship that's furthest away from you is going to attempt to fire. It will get 1 hit. hits the hull for 12 fire damage, and you lose 2 crew members.
All that revival for nothing.
Now you're
worth it.
now you're 1 under where you had before. Yeah, and the ship that's directly behind you now tries to pull alongside, but you can see that as it's trying to come up to board, you then see it now start to deviate and head kind of diagonally away.
At any
it will-
point, does it come within 60 feet of us?
Yes.
Can I throw my bombs at it?
You can throw 1 at it.
But I get 2 attacks per action.
You get 2 attacks when you're attacking with a weapon, not like an improvised explosive device.
It's worth a shot.
Jarrell. Which, by the way, there is still one stuck to this ship that is about to go off.
Yeah, but it still seems like it has its whole crew. We haven't really hurt this one too much, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
true. But you see it again, strangely starting to now, instead of try to pull alongside, now pull away slightly. It's like angling itself away from you.
And we determined that under 60 foot is regular attack throw.
Yes. For
Okay.
you.
I did the average, and the best ever is like 75 feet, so I figured that's like the cutoff. So there's like a 15-foot gap of shot put, but yeah. Okay. I will set the charge for 10 seconds again, because I like how that one worked. And I will heave it on as best I can, trying to aim for the deck of the ship.
Okay, I mean you're able to make it on. You're able to hit onto it.
Cool.
Now, the start of the or at the end of this, ship's turn now, the first one goes off. You see that again, concussive blast like that, just it. But then it sucks back in. Instead of popping out those like 6 grenades to the side, they all shoot up straight up in a straight line, and then fall back down, and then explode. Roll me 8d6. I told you all these were slightly unique.
So how many d6?
8d6.
26. 26.
26, and we're going to add 20 to that, so 46. And we'll say that a good chunk of crew were affected by this, so they lose 10.
Theirs. Got it.
Mm-hmm. And then this explosion preemptively sets off the other grenade thrown at it. Because it's set off preemptively, just another concussive blast pops off from this grenade. John, roll me 66.
40.
Nice. And 9 crew are taken out by that. Okay, and this rocks this ship because now 2 large explosions have gone up on the top hull. The sails are destroyed. The mast is barely holding itself together. The hull itself, there's still plenty to work with here, but again, these ships were kind of rotted out. But this thing is still continuing to pull away from you. And now, before we get to your ship, directly ahead of you, you start to see lots of glowing green lights.
Glowing green lights.
Lots of them.
And you're also beginning to start to see some of the buildings of Ardwall come into focus. You can see there's a lot of fires in like buildings on the coast.
Damn it, I hope we're not too late.
And dozens of these ghost ships are all around this harbor area, including one gigantic one in the center that looks very similar to one of the ships that you encountered at the lighthouse.
Oh no.
And aboard it, arms folded, staring at you as you approach, is Ebenezer himself. And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Dun, dun.
Hey, Internet. If you like us, you could find us on the Internet. Wait.
No, I like
Yes.
it. Keep it.
Yes, those very same interwebs that you found this podcast on, you can also find our social media presence, which is on Twitter and Instagram at Hapless Heroes. It's also on Facebook and Reddit. Just look for Hapless Heroes Podcast. However, those places will point you to the crown jewel, the ultimate tool of communication that we use to talk to you, our wonderful audience, and that is our Discord server, where you can meet, interact with us, talk about the show, talk about other things going on in your life, and just, really just hang out with a wonderful audience of, nerds and other awesome like-minded people. And if you really like us, you can leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. Really just means a lot to us to see all the wonderful things you've said about us, in the past and currently. You can also email us at haplessheroes@gmail.com. I promise you we will say some wonderful words right back to you on the air. And if you really like us, you can donate to our Patreon. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a variety of different rewards on there. We've talked about them a lot, I would suggest just going on there and checking out. We got behind the scenes audio, shiny Discord server roles, Phil's, amazing recordings. It's going to be just a grand old time. And we appreciate every dollar that goes into the show because we just put it right back into it anyways. And we also donate to other content creators like Tabletop Audio, for example, that we use, so many of his ambiences and sound effects and stuff. And, we just try to kind of continue that circle of giving throughout the role-playing and RPG and tabletop community. So thank you. And also, I'm going to take this one this time, friends. If you love us, like really, really like us, like Sally Field and the whole deal, love yourself. Like, just take some time, because you know what? It's been hard for everyone, I think, especially this last year. And I think it's high time we tell you that, just take some time to love yourself. Because if you love us, how could you possibly love us if you can't love yourself? So take yourself out on a safe walk wearing a mask throughout your neighborhood, even though it's probably cold outside right now. It doesn't matter. Or, take up a new hobby, or, maybe try to find a D&D game for yourself if you're not currently in one. Just do something to take care of yourself and love yourself, and therefore can then perform all the other loving actions to show us how much you really love us.
I spent a lot of the quarantine loving myself.
There you go.
I prefer to pre-ritualize.
Follow John and Phil's example. And just love yourself. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and outro this cast before we start taking a more... a turn to this podcast was never intended for. So, starting on my right, we have John playing Lord Jarrell the Light.
Until next time.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Ardwall. Yeah.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
So many ghosts, so little daggers.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwood.
We will get through this together as crew.
And Dave as Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Good night, everyone.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.